And we're here.
We live?
We are live with episode 0 of the brand new Analog Bog podcast channel, whatever you want to call it.
Well, doesn't it feel good? Our last podcast was such a runaway success.
Yeah, we just had to, such a success, we had to change channels.
Yeah.
And delete everything.
But we'll start from ground zero, work our way up and see if we can build the empire all over again.
Those are the steps to success.
Mm.
We are the Analog Bog.
That's true. Collectively. Like the Borg.
Yeah, analog, because we like analog media, as we know.
That's true.
So many other people do.
We
We like
I
cassette
have some
players.
examples here.
What you got there?
Well, I got a big fat pile of cassettes. Here's the thing: cassettes are the future, man. We'll go into this, obviously. These are better than vinyl, and I'll tell you why soon. Just bear with me. I got a couple of these. I think you're familiar with them.
Rectangles. Love them.
Of a good rectangle. This one in particular is a John Woo film. Fun fact, among others.
John Woo, known to be the Shakespeare of our generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. We like analog stuff.
Yeah. Cassette.
Anything that looks noisy.
Yeah. VHS players. We like the grainy footage. We like the noises the machine makes when you put a fresh tape in, or in our case, not so fresh.
Never fresh.
No. We get a lot of goodwill.
I own one new tape. How many do you have?
I got a few, but I don't really keep track of them. Like, it's not like, ooh, these are my sealed VHS tapes.
Well, like, like I have a couple of new. We have a lot of new cassettes. Like, well, this is an old album for anyone that knows DRI, but that's a new press from like 2020 or whatever. But they don't really. I mean, there are new tapes being produced and stuff, but I don't know. You don't see them a lot, I guess.
Yeah, it's I think it's becoming popular. I was just at a show recently, or a concert, if you will, and they had brand new cassettes. I think it's a trend that's catching on, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I know you are too.
We've bought a few cassettes at shows and things like that. I don't have any of those to show you, but
I know we've bought a few from Bandcamp. Quite a few, probably too many.
Yeah. Really like synthwave and vaporwave and stuff like that. Unironically, which is the funny thing. I know you're supposed to like vaporwave ironically, but I just kind of like it.
I don't get that.
Yeah, it's just kind of enjoyable, really.
I just like stuff because I like it. I can't ever explain it.
Why do you like VHSs, by the way? Why do you enjoy them?
I think our age group will always say, "Oh, it's nostalgia." We grew up watching them. I like physical media. I still buy DVDs. But I like VHS because I had them as a kid. I like them because they're rectangles. And, the sleeves are cool. You flip them over. I don't know, something about it. Like, you got the cool black rectangle. You see the footage that it's on. Like, the film, it's on the tape. That's cool to me.
Yeah. Like, even this, I know it's mirrored. But even like these logos or like the top set and stuff on the backs of these boxes, they just really do it for me, man. I guess it's that bygone era. We live in a world of turmoil, COVID and the most split our country has ever been on every political issue, those kinds of things. It's just like good to kind of escape.
Well, guess what? People will also be split on why we buy VHS tapes.
That's true. I was thinking about this yesterday because we've been talking about doing this for a while, and one of us was holding it up. It was me. I've been thinking about this, and like, there's no real logical reason to choose VHS over any other media, right?
No,
it's not as convenient as digital. It's not even as convenient as DVDs. I mean, they take up a ton of space. I've got these shelves back here. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't counted, but there's well over 100 tapes there and 100 DVDs would probably fit on one of those shelves. Those are like double stacked and everything. Um, there's no convenient factor. It's just nostalgia and I guess a taste for
A bygone
the
era.
iconography. Yeah, but something about the iconography. Like I know there's a whole subreddit dedicated to like the art that was on the front of blank VHS tapes back in the day, like those cool geometric shapes that were like blue and purple and stuff. I don't know, just grabs my attention. Um, and I know that we're not the only one. There are other like-minded individuals out there. Otherwise, Stranger Things wouldn't be as popular as it is, right?
Oh yeah, there's tons. I'm in a couple VHS collecting groups, you can
Mm.
say, on Reddit, Facebook, whatever, social media, and tons of people out there collecting VHS tapes. And
Yeah,
one, it's a pretty cheap hobby. Most
yeah.
people are throwing them away, or you can get them just dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. It's easy to get into, and it's a hobby. I was like, I need to be a part of that. I'm a collector by heart. You know that.
Yeah. So, how long have we been friends now? Like
Mm,
8 years,
10,
almost.
probably
Yeah,
10.
something like that. About a decade. Um, and for that decade, one thing is rang true, right? If one of us gets into a hobby, the other one is going to follow shortly. Um,
Absolutely. We're
I
we're too
go,
attached at the hip.
yeah. M- Many a times I've referred to Jordan as my heterosexual life partner, because I've literally based decisions in my life around like how it's going to affect him. Right? We're both married, but we've been friends for a long time, and that's just how it goes, right? We vacation together, all that stuff. When you got a VCR and you were like, "Yeah, I've been collecting VHS," I was super resistant. I was like, "No, not a chance. Not gonna do that." And then we went to a horror con together, and there was a there was a VCR for $5, and I just randomly bought it because I saw all your cool tapes lined up and stuff like that. And it was just I don't know, it hit me in that like the I don't know, it reminded me of going to like rent tapes and stuff as a kid. That was like a big event, like my dad, we'd go down to what was that one over in the plaza by Walmart?
Oh, Superstar.
Superstar. Yeah, we go over there and like um I'd pick out a tape or whatever. Usually he'd rent a horror tape and let me watch it way too young and then, scare the crap out of me that night. Um Nostalgia just hits, man. It just hits.
And I think everybody that gets into collecting, and I don't care if it's analog media, I don't care if you collect trains, whatever. There's something in your brain that's producing serotonin when you see it, touch it, whatever.
Mm,
And I know VHS tapes hit us like that, cassettes. For anyone else, in the comments, tell us what you collect. I want to know. I want to know what makes your brain tick.
for sure. I know Kanye West. I don't know if he still does, but he used to like collect teddy bears and stuff like that.
Okay?
Like everybody's got something. Everybody's got
Everybody's got
something.
something.
Um,
Everybody's got something they spend way too much money on.
yeah. Luckily, analog media is pretty cheap unless you're looking around for really high end CRT TVs or like you know like something special about whatever equipment. For me, I don't care. I'm buying like dusty VCRs and like $4 Goodwill CRTs and $2 tapes, whatever. Um, but it can be an expensive hobby, I guess. I've seen those posts online, but it's pretty cheap. Cheap way to collect movies.
I mean, I feel like I've probably spent quite a bit of money on it, but nothing outlandish. The only, money I've put into it is when I want a certain VHS tape, and it's
Yeah,
like 10, $20.
that was a point that I was gonna make. You mentioned earlier tapes are pretty cheap. They are, especially if you're going for like Rocky or like a John Hughes movie or something like that. But let me tell you where they get you, right? Horror.
Or,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just horror media in general is produced in a lot smaller scale, but it
Mhm.
affects every collecting hobby. Horror is the most expensive part, right?
Yeah.
Video
So I
games,
mean,
horror games, always going to be the most expensive.
yeah, you have a small but dense collection of like horror statues and stuff like that. And I know
True.
those go for a pretty solid amount too, compared to some of the other
Oh yeah.
figures, and stuff that we both collect. But um, yeah, I've seen horror tapes for hundreds. Yeah, I know you have too in collecting groups and eBay and stuff like that. They can get ridiculous.
Yeah. Horror is what's going to get you. If you're new to the hobby or you're like, hey, I like horror movies, you might have to shell out some money on some stuff that you really like, or get a repro.
Yeah, like yeah. Recently, me and Jordan both uh, bought a repro of a specific tape that we wanted to get signed by. We'll talk about that probably sometime next month.
Yeah,
But
we'll be talking about that in the future. I anticipate we'll have a pretty big story to go along with it.
yeah, hope so. Um, what's the most expensive tape you bought?
Oh, Oh, probably my most expensive tape is the 1970s version of Dawn of the Dead,
Mm-hmm.
the two tape one. It's
Right,
probably the
we watched
most
that
I've
one.
spent, and I probably spent like $30 on it.
That's the most I've spent too. My most expensive tape was Tetsuo the Iron Man. If anyone knows that movie, um,
If you do know that movie, you qualify to be friends with us.
it definitely it's a great flick. Um, I thought I spent 30 on that one. Um, that and the repro. I think that's about what we spent on that repro too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I,
Now that I think about it, which I've watched that repro and like, oh my god,
I can't knock a repro for being a little expensive because
yeah.
they put a lot of work into the art, the
Mhm.
case. I mean, they really suit it up. They make it nice, and someone's going out of their way to make that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is it illegal? Questionably, but I don't
Uh,
judge.
yeah. Um, so
They're art pieces.
yeah, that's how they're marketed and sold and everything. I wish I could plug the guy. I just went and checked, and I'm not signing into the right account. I wish I could plug the guy we bought that from because it was a great buying experience. I'll put his name in the description. His Etsy shop. He does not sell reproduction tapes.
He sells art
He
pieces.
he
Damn it!
sells art pieces. There's no movies on the tapes. It's just a cool box that happens to have a tape in it, and that's it. I'll plug him in the description. He's great. He's got a lot of good movies on there. Maybe check it out if you're into that kind of thing. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about the buying experience. I messaged him. It was out of stock. I asked him if he was going to put it in stock. 3 days later, he put some up and messaged me immediately, let me know they were back in stock and stuff. It was great. So he's a great guy, and it's you kind of get that. It's a small community VHS collecting, relatively. Um, Everybody just kind of wants to watch cool tapes, right?
I do. I have a little section of my house, a little room. Got a big fat CRT TV in there. I've got all my VHS tapes, and
Mm,
me and the wife will sit there, and just vibe out, watch some old media.
yeah, I've got I have 3 CRTs now. I mean, I've got this one running in the background currently with Godzilla versus Megalon for any kaiju aficionados. I've got another one that I just have like an NES hooked up to. I've got one in my bedroom for watching movies with a VCR permanently hooked up to that. Like, how many CRTs do you have? Actually, I know you've got a fair few now.
Yeah. So for anyone listening that cares, I don't know. I've I got into buying CRT TVs because of my crushing video game collecting addiction. Not only do I collect them, I actually play them. So I needed the CRT TVs. They make things look better. If you get it, you get it. But I started there, and right now I'm looking at five. I've got 5 CRT TVs in my house. Not too bad. I've seen worse online.
Yeah,
It's not become a problem yet, but they're fat, they're big, they take up room.
they are. Yeah, I mean, luckily, I've two of the three that I have are really small, but I also have another 25-ish inch one somewhere else in storage. Um, but that's kind of a thing you do, I guess, when you're into like retro games, um, and VCRs and things like that. You always want to have a backup of your backup of your backup. It's like camping in that way, right?
Yeah, I've got like 5 PS2s, just in
Yeah,
case one breaks. And you buy a second one, then you're at a convention or you're online and you're like, hey, that's a good price. I'll buy that because my second one might break. Then you end up with
yeah,
5,
yeah.
so on and
Like at
so
least two
forth.
of those are Japanese too, right?
Oh, that's
Am
not even including the Japanese ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, we'll talk about it eventually, I'm sure.
And if that's
But
something you're
Jordan,
interested in, put a comment in. Retro video
mhm,
games, we're here for that too.
yeah, Jordan certainly has a plethora to show off. I mean, I don't even know how many you have. Do you know? I know that your wife catalogs them,
Yeah.
so you can stop buying doubles because I've been with you when you've bought doubles on multiple occasions. But
My lovely wife is a very top A personality, whereas I'm very top B. So she likes cataloging and keeping things in order where I just buy them and sometimes I buy duplicates and throw them in the pile.
yeah, we both looked out that way.
Yeah.
Um,
But no, I'm not even sure how many I have. I know I have one section of my game room that the corner is just all Japanese video games because Japanese media is close to both you and I.
mhm,
Very near and dear to our heart.
weebs, if you will.
Hmm, the technical term.
Um, yeah, one thing we're definitely going to talk about on this channel for sure will be kaiju. We're both big fans of that. And we have plenty of tapes between the two of us as well to talk about. So it's in theme.
Yeah, we're kaiju aficionados. And yeah, if you're interested, let us know. But we'll do a whole episode based on that, talking about what we have, what we've seen,
Mm.
what we like about it. Let us know what you like about it. We're here for friendship, the banter.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing this anyway. This is why we decided to record. We do this like 3 hours a day anyway. We have full time jobs. Keep in mind, and we still just spend hours talking to each other every day. So we figured might as well, I don't know, try and make a hobby of it. Um, so
Yeah,
whatever.
time capsule, if you will.
Hmm.
And for anyone listening, we would like you to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So we went over the VHS. Why do you why do you buy and listen to cassettes?
I like cassettes because as a coming of age male, everybody has that part in their life where they start getting really into music, right? Music starts speaking to your soul growing up. And cassettes were there for me first. So I think I was in third, fourth grade. I got a Rob Zombie on cassette, and that was like my first one I bought. And that was it. I liked cassettes ever since, and I just I quit collecting when I got older because you're more on the move, more on travel. But here we are. When I started getting into VHSs, I was the one to really start collecting metal, rock, anything like that, cassettes. Also buy a lot of vaporwave, new cassettes, as you mentioned earlier.
This this was one of the most frustrating experiences of my life. Walkmans.
Yeah.
Um, for anyone who collects or listens to cassettes, they are such a pain in the butt. And for what, Jordan? For what?
It's just you're taking on the pain to enjoy something for no reason.
Mhm. So, some points that we've both talked about before casually. Um, just owning an album, like Disintegration by The Cure. That's one of my favorite albums of all time, right? I own this album digitally. Um, I listen to it a couple of times a year at minimum. I listen to it all the time as a teen and stuff like that. It's just a really important album to me. I want to own it, wanted to own it physically. Um, And records are cool, but records take up a lot of space. I know, Jordan, you still buy records occasionally and stuff like that. Not as many as you do cassette, but um, I like records, and I like owning a physical copy of an album. I like looking at the artwork. But man, records are an oversaturated market, right? They are they're expensive. They're really finicky and fragile, and I'm not a careful man.
Mm-mm.
You know, record equipment, even like you skid a needle across the record, you give it a deep scratch, stuff like that. It just really stresses me out. It's like it's more stress than it's worth. Vinyl looks really good. Not gonna deny that. Like a nice stack of vinyl, you can flick through it, look at the artwork, the inserts, and everything. It's great. But the convenience of tapes, they're so much smaller. They don't sound nearly as bad as people have memories of either. Like I know right now you're thinking cassette tapes sound terrible. That's because you were probably listening to a cassette tape of like Metallica that your uncle recorded off of like his friend's copy and then kept in his shitty Ford truck for like 3 summers in a row. So yeah, it sounded bad. Um, he also definitely never cleaned his cassette player in his truck. I'm projecting. This was my uncle, but you're probably similar to me. I mean, if you think cassettes sound bad, there's a reason for that. They don't have to though.
Yeah, anyone in our age group will have memories of picking up cassettes out of a floorboard of a old beater vehicle.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said with cassettes though, I love how small they are. They're easy to pack away. They stack up and you can see, the labels on them. They just look great.
And like the artwork still looks rad too. I mean, that still looks good.
Yeah. Cassettes are great. VHSs are great. Records are great. Don't hate on us too much. We're not beating records down.
Mm-mm. No, definitely
But records are hitting that trendy mark where they're just getting a little too pricey to collect.
not. Yeah. And I mean, as I was talking about, why people think old cassettes sound bad, you're probably also saying like I was fucking with like a Crosley suitcase, you know, record player and buying like cheap records and stuff like that. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like I don't make a lot of money, so I'm going about things as cheap as I can typically. Um, I didn't have a Crossley though. I wasn't down that bad. I did have an Audio Technica turntable, but yeah, I don't know. I just at a certain point I kind of got rid of the record stuff. It took up a lot of space, and I needed more room for TVs. So, but I do like records.
We all need more room for CRTs.
I like when I come over to your house and like we have a couple drinks and listen to like that Holy Diver record and stuff. Like that's fun. It's a good time.
Man. Favorite record I have. Favorite album
Yeah.
on vinyl. Holy Diver by Dio.
That is, in my opinion, just one of the greatest metal albums of all time. Anyway,
100%.
You can argue about that with us if you want, but you're wrong.
Yeah, we won't. You won't prove your point to us, but
we'll listen.
Yeah, we'll just tell you you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gone over the analog portion of Analog Bog, our name, our title, channel name that joins us together in this holy moment. As for the bog portion, you might be thinking, bog. What's that? It's exactly what you think.
Yeah. That one's a little harder to explain. So I don't, how would you explain that?
Somewhere early in our friendship, we just really like stinky, sweaty, rotten bogs. And, the kind that, Frodo found all those elves in when they were, traveling Middle Earth.
Sure. Two of my favorite examples of bogs, right? There's that one that the horse falls in.
Oh,
in
man.
Neverending Story. That like every kid cried at.
All right, yeah. Give everybody listening a moment of silence. Let them reflect.
Artax?
Yeah.
Rest in peace. 2. Bog of Eternal Stench. Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Bogs are metal.
Bugs are metal.
Yeah, I think
Bugs
that's
are
why
metal.
we like them.
Yeah. So
Oceans, mountains, beaches, everything else, it's overdone. Bogs don't get enough credit.
true. Big facts.
So here we are, analog bog.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna talk about stuff here and do stuff. Like we're gonna play some games. Um,
We play
we've got
games.
a love of horror, so there's definitely gonna be that. There's gonna be that running throughout. You know what I mean? We watch a lot of horror. We talk about a lot of horror. We play horror games. We fucking listen to horror music. You know what I mean? Who doesn't love like Calabrese and Necromantics and stuff like that? It's just
Absolutely.
something that's near and dear to our hearts. But there's we got other stuff going on. We're multifaceted individuals.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about movies. We'll be talking about video games. We go to conventions. We also just like creepy, macabre, interesting, scary stuff.
Yeah,
We'll talk
yeah,
about some
for
of our
sure.
trips we've done, some of the trips we're going to take,
Mhm.
and just anything interesting going on in the world. And, let us know. We're going to say some stuff that's wrong. We
Mhm.
might say some stuff that's right. But at the end of the day, it's going to be what we know to be true. So stick with us on that.
Mhm. Yeah, we like taxidermy and folklore and creepy pastas and stinky musty tapes from 1985.
I prefer mine without mold, but you get what you can get.
I said musty, not moldy. Are those synonyms?
I don't know.
See, we're saying wrong stuff
Yeah,
already.
I'm waiting for somebody to correct me.
Yeah.
I've been on the internet.
Tape. We'll do a whole. We could do a whole thing on tape mold. That's the bane of our existence.
Oh
Really,
man.
anyone who collects analog media out there, particularly
I
VHS
may
tapes.
I may try to get some examples to show, but I don't have any because I tossed them all in the
Oh yeah,
trash.
yeah. Whenever I accidentally get one, I don't keep it around normally. I had that. So soul crushing. I spent $15 on it too. I bought a $15 copy of Godzilla vs. Biolanta on eBay. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't even know. I've always pronounced it Biolanta though. But I bought a copy of that tape. It's my favorite Godzilla movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Bought it, was super excited, get it, and it's just eaten up with mold. I mean, the whole reel was white. It was disgusting.
We hate to see it.
Yeah, it was devastating.
I mean, and that's the problem with buying online. It makes you nervous. You never know. If they don't show you a picture, like I can't trust it enough to buy it.
Right. Is that still in this TV, man? Sometimes it only outputs in black and white. I'm not sure why, but it's a fun little quirk of analog media when you get stuff like that.
Hey, it looks great back there.
I mean, that's you can't go wrong.
No, not at all.
So, what's coming up, man? Like, what are we? You know what I'm excited for actually?
What are you excited for?
Sometime in like early or mid October. You remember those? Remember those Halloween buckets that McDonald's used to put their Happy Meals in around Halloween time?
Ooh, yeah,
It
like the
was
one that's like a pumpkin, a witch,
yeah,
something
and a
else.
ghost. A
Ah,
ghost.
the
It's a ghost. Yeah.
ghost.
They're bringing those back this year.
Ooh.
I'm gonna try and collect all three, and I'll be sure to show them off on here because I'm sure you guys really want to see some Halloween buckets from McDonald's. But that's the exact kind of thing that gets my goat.
My wife will be very excited for that.
Yeah, my Kim is losing it.
Yeah.
She's really sorry.
When do those release?
I'd have to get a solid date for you after this. For anyone watching, it's gonna be way too late, but I'll put it in the description too. I want to say it's like October, maybe 18th or something like that.
I love
But
being a
it's
grown man going through McDonald's drive-through, getting the Happy Meal because
yeah,
I just want the toy.
yeah. They had my favorite Disney movie is Lilo and Stitch. Don't judge me. But they had like some Lilo and Stitch toys like a year or two ago, and I went through multiple times to try and get the one I wanted. Never did.
Yeah, their recent release with Pokemon cards, I think about a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really hard to get.
Yeah, I just waltzed in and got one of those. They sold me just the cards for like $250 too. I didn't even have to buy the full Happy Meal.
Why would you not get the Happy Meal? Don't you want to be happy?
Because I have celiac disease, Jordan. The only thing I can eat is the apples and milk.
Just give it to your wife.
No, that's my Happy Meal. No, I did. I bought her a Happy Meal, but I also bought a pack of the cards separately.
Good move then. You've redeemed yourself.
She loves Happy Meals, man. Whenever she's having a real down day, I can take her through and get her a Happy Meal, and it genuinely helps. This is not sponsored by McDonald's. I want to point out,
We're just
we're
cheap.
not we're not corporate shills. It's I'm fat and American, so McDonald's is part of my childhood. My mom was a manager at McDonald's. I've told you about this before. I used to get all the cool toys and stuff. It was pretty rad. That was in the late 1900s, though. Been quite a while.
Been a
Have you heard people say
while.
that? Have you heard people say the late 1900s?
No.
Oh man, it makes my fucking back hurt. The late 1900s. That's awful.
Or a score and 7 years ago.
Yeah.
As for stuff coming up in the world of interesting things we like, you know, luckily we're starting this at the end of September.
Mhm.
October's right around the corner, literally, and horror movies are coming up full swing. I think we're gonna get some good ones.
Yeah.
I still
Pearl
love
just
going to the
dropped.
movies.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's not really my bag.
A lot of
I
people
like
don't.
watching movies, but every time I go see a horror movie, especially, it's just ruined for me, dude. The last two I went to see The Lighthouse, and I went to see um It Part Two. Those were the last ones I saw in theaters, and both of those got ruined for me.
Ruined as in
Some
expand.
people were being like in It Too. Yeah, that's like a big, wide appeal movie. So like a lot of people were there just to kind of like joke around with their friends and prove how tough they were, and they're like totally not scared and stuff like that. Which I get it. People want to have fun, but it just like it annoys me when I can hear people talking all around me or like people making loud sort of exclamations at the screen.
True.
Um,
I
I
get
hate that.
that.
Yeah, it just ruins the movie for me, man. And then when I saw The Lighthouse, it was like I don't know. The sound was like off, and I was having stomach pains and stuff that day, and it just sucked. Like I could go to the bathroom. I was afraid I was gonna miss something. That's a great movie. I want to point. I watched it later, and it's a fantastic movie. But I just didn't have a great time, man. I don't know.
I do hear that from a lot of people that they just don't go to the theater anymore.
Yeah, it's weird. I love movies, but the theater is just like I don't know, man. Doesn't really do it for me anymore, unfortunately. I just I like staying home. You go out a lot. You do stuff, you know.
I do like going to the theater. I'm very fortunate enough to live by a cheap, pretty crappy theater, and every time I go, no one else is there.
Right.
I really hope it stays in business. Not looking great, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah, I mean, fair dues. Fair. I wish we had something like that.
We used to, way back in the day. You used to.
Yeah. Yeah. You got too big for your britches and moved out of this one stoplight town.
True. Had to.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, Pearl just came out. I haven't gotten a chance to see that yet, but
Haven't either.
I've heard good things.
It looks good.
Maxine, that comes out. I don't think very long, right? I don't remember. Actually, it might be
I
further out than I
remember.
think.
The new
Hellraiser,
Halloween,
Halloween, yeah.
that's
Both of
probably
those
going to
look
be
great.
terrible. No, I don't
You
think the new Halloween looks good at all.
really?
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I've heard through the grapevine that there are two Michael Myers. I don't know how true that is, but if that's the case, trash.
I don't know. I'll give it a chance. I get where you're coming from, though.
They just need a whole new reboot.
Again,
Yeah, another one.
you know, I liked the first Rob Zombie Halloween. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't the same. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the same. And I get that his like weird brand of like white trash horror doesn't really appeal to everyone.
I liked it.
I like it. Yeah, I didn't really like the second one. The second one kind of went off rails with all that weird ghost mom stuff and everything. But the first one was great, in my opinion. Um, What else is coming out? Oh, Chucky season 2. I still
Yeah,
haven't got to see season 1 yet.
ready for
I'm
that.
watching.
Just finished season 1 not too long ago. Loved it. Really took me by surprise. I was like, Chucky TV series? No way this is going to be good. I was wrong.
Right. I heard it was good. I'm doing a rewatch of the movies. I'm still kind of in the middle of that. I need to only have 2 left. I just finished. The last one I watched was Son of Chucky. Awful movie. Not. I love
Oh,
Billy Boyd,
yeah,
but that
Billy
movie's
Boyd's
not
great,
great.
but yeah, that's a bad movie.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly's fantastic.
She'll never get old.
Mm-mm. Love her. Uh,
Yeah, we got a good season coming up. Plenty of stuff to talk about.
mhm.
A lot of
Yep.
things to enjoy. But yeah, that was pretty much just a quick 30-minute introduction of who we are, what you can expect, what we're about, and a little intro into our name.
Yeah, we like analogs,
And we like
analog
Bog.
media, and we like bugs. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
simple, really.
yeah.
Not
You
not
get
that
what's on the
anyone out
tin.
there really cares, probably, but we're gonna be here anyway.
Yeah, even if we weren't recording, we'd still be doing this. Um, hopefully you want to watch. I don't know.
Yeah, you can pop in, say hi on our YouTube channel, which is Analog Bog, or here over on Twitch, my main channel, Arcade Kaiju,
Hmm.
and that's where you can find us.
For me, you can write a note and tie it to a rock and throw it into a swamp, and I'll find it.
You can't read though.
You're right. You're right. But I'll save them all up and I'll show them to Jordan. And
I'll
he
lie.
does this thing. Yeah, he reads them, but then he doesn't tell me what they actually say. He'll read it and be like, "This guy says that you smell bad." I'll be like, "Damn, yeah, fair enough." But that could be fun either way. So do that.
So, you got anything else for the group today?
No, no, I think that's about it.
I don't
Don't
either.
make fun of us too hard for liking dead media. We don't collect Laserdisc or Betamax. At least we're cooler than that.
Yeah,
I didn't buy a Zune.
no. Trash.
Yeah. Also, never bought an iPod though.
Weird. Those were out for a
Well,
very long time.
I mean, I had an MP3 player, just never had an iPod. I was
Mm,
poor, man.
that's fair. The shuffle was like $50.
Who wants that? You can't pick your song.
I had it.
Yeah, well, that
Leave
thing
me
sucked,
alone.
dude. No, I'd rather, unironically, rather use a Walkman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. But I wanted to
All
be
right.
hip. All right, that's all I got. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Join us next time. We'll get you a schedule. Not really. It's just whenever we want. And we'll see you next time. Stay analog.
Absolutely.